lecture of this webinar series. I would now like to call upon Dr. Karthikeyan to introduce Dr. Santosh, who has probably not only completed his PG from our institution, but still continues to be our student because he is currently pursuing his PhD here. So we're still not done with him. I think Dr. Karthikeyan will introduce Santosh in a better way. Over to you, Karthikeyan.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Palmoor Santosh is a young, talented endo aspirant who has been inculcating his vast knowledge in the wide ocean of clinical research. At present, he is a full-time PhD scholar at SRM Dental College and an eminent consultant. He has been awarded the CET Young Talent Award in 2018 and the ISAD Research Grant Award in 2019. He has also published several research papers in national and international journals. I'm happy to introduce our own student in this forum. Welcome once again. Over to you, Santosh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. That was a wonderful introduction of me. And it gives me an immense pleasure to be in this platform and present in front of my staffs, my HOD, with my fellow juniors and seniors. So I am Santosh, Dr. Santosh, a PhD full-time scholar in SRM Dental College, Ramapuram. And you must be like thinking webinar, one more series. So you guys can relax. For the season 1, mine is going to be the last seminar and nothing theoretical. It's just going to be a clinical with some pictures, and I've made sure there are only 2-3 slides of text in it. The rest all are pictures. So just relax. And now I think we all at 11:30 we must be hungry because it's almost lunch at 12 o'clock we usually have. So either we must be hungry or we must be thinking of a lunch, either biryani or some food or some desserts after it. So I would tell you guys to order your food in Swiggy or Zomato, and I would probably take some half an hour. With that, I think your food will also arrive. And people who have packed their food from home have to just bear me for 30 minutes. At this point, I would like to thank my two pillars, strength, and who made my PG life as beautiful and smooth as they are. My HOD ma'am and my present PhD guide and my PG guide, Dr. Vidya, and all my other staffs and my colleagues here. And if I forget to don't put this slide of my batchmates, they'll immediately call and kill me. So we call ourselves a Super 8 since we are 8 of us with one girl. This is actually me right now. I'm excited to present this seminar in front of all of you, and in the same way, little scared to present in front of my teachers. So my topic for the day would be composite restoration simplified. A staff in my UG college used to tell me that a restorative dentist is the most important thing because you guys can, a beautiful restoration done by a restorative dentist or a general dentist can stop the endo or the progression of the disease, and you can give a life to the tooth. So that's why the restorations play an important part. So as rightly said by Dr. Goldstein, aesthetic dentistry is the art of aesthetic dentistry is the art of dentistry in its purest form. So we all are in this biomimetic era, which means that we all want to mimic the nature. So that's the reason why we are mimicking our exact tooth structure and all. But whatever it is, I still feel that amalgam is like your wife. It will forgive at times when you make some mistakes. All that you have to keep your cavity little convergent, whereas composite is little technique sensitive and it's like your girlfriend. You have to take care at every step, right from your cavity prep, your etching, bonding, your restoration, or your and then even your finishing and polishing plays a major role. In spite of all this, why are we going ahead with composite resins? It's because of its biomimetic nature. It gives an aesthetic and natural appeal. Because of its minimal cavity preparation, and it also bonds to the tooth structure, and it's a kind of direct restorations. We also have aesthetic restorations like your ceramic inlays or onlays or your zirconias. But still, this composite is your direct restoration, which can be done in single step. And so what is the composite? As we all know, the composite is a three-dimensional combination of two or more chemically different substances. That is your resin, filler, and your coupling agent. Normally, these resin and filler are like two persons who don't get along with each other. So you need someone to bind them together. So that's your coupling agent. So it's a combination of two or more chemically different substances with a distinct interface between them, so that the properties of such combined material is superior when compared to its individual components. So as we all know, a composite has a resin matrix, your fillers, the coupling agent, the initiators and accelerators for polymerization, and your colorants. So what is the main objective of the restoration? The main objective of the restoration would be to restore the lot to structure, and thereby getting it into the function for occlusion, and then getting the aesthetics back of the patient, and then to maintain the integrity of the tooth, which tooth structure, whichever is left out after the destruction by caries or by whatever thing it has happened. So we all have been doing the restorations by conventional technique, like we just spend a lot of time while we need a lot of time to sculpt this cusp fossa relationship. And even once after getting a cusp fossa relationship, we when we check is there any occlusal discrepancies, once we see that, we again reduce it, and then which leads to some occlusal disturbances, then leading to a TMJ problem, and you will need an extra time for this polishing restoration. And whenever I do a composite, I just remember this picture. Like we spend some hours together to get a beautiful sculpture or something like this, a statue or a beautiful Tesla. But after doing the occlusal adjustments, I used to end up like this. So once you once you start finishing and polishing of the restoration, you tend to reduce a little bit of the composite, which thereby disturbing all the objectives of the restoration. So are the objectives satisfied? I would say they are like little compromise. So how can we go ahead with that? As I was talking that polishing even requires a lot of time. And the other thing, does this polishing have any effect on surface roughness? Yes, it has an effect. This is an article which was published way back in 2006 in Operative Dentistry. They have used two composites, that's micro hybrid and a microfilled resin. And then they have taken as a positive control and negative control, and they have two different types of and they have used different polishing materials. What they have concluded is that you can see this positive control. The positive control had a minimum roughness value when compared to all the experimental samples after polishing. In the same article, when I went through the discussion, I found this beautiful line: the best surface is one achieved with a matrix band or with matrix. So even your polishing will have an effect on the surface roughness. That's just because of you remove the resin on the occlusal layer, which will expose your filler particles, and then because of this filler particles, there will be again wear and tear, which will again contribute to your increase in surface roughness. So let's move on. How can we counter all these drawbacks of the conventional techniques? Is we have something called a stamp technique. It was introduced by Wasim Riaz, a London-based practitioner, but there's a slight controversy on this, like who has introduced it or who had done it. When I was going to a literature, a couple of days back, I found this patent. It's from United States. which dates February 18, 1986 by a group of dentists from New York. These are the people who technically used occlusal matrix or the stamp techniques for reconstruction of the for restoration of the tooth. So what is a stamp? A stamp is nothing but you fabricate an occlusal index. That is, you get an negative replica of the occlusal surface. So originally, this stamp technique was introduced by this group of dentists from New York because they, way back in 1986, it was all chemical cure composites, and there was limited working time for that. So to finish off their work faster in that working time, they used the stamp technique. So the different materials for stamp technique would be a flowable resin or an impression material, your putty or your gingival barrier. Technically, this is my favorite material because I'll be using the rest of the gingival barrier which I get from the Polo Office kit or the bleaching kit. Then you can use your silicone bite registration paste or your acrylic material. And we have commercial available devices like occlusal duplicating device, and you have an universal occlusal matrix. So let's just get into the methodology. I have a few cases which I'm going to show you. The cases which are done by me, and I've picked some cases from articles and from my colleagues. The cases which are picked up from the articles or which I've got from my colleagues, I've given them a courtesy, so you can go back and search in those journals for any other information. So we all can see there's an occlusal caries in 3-6. The first step for a composite restoration is your isolation. Isolation plays an important role in restoration or in doing a composite. And then once after that, you apply a small layer, you apply a layer of bonding agent over it and put an applicator tip over it, and then drop a flowable composite over it, and then cure it. Make sure that we don't apply any bonding agent or any etchant before, I mean, while we are fabricating the stamp. If you apply it, it will get stuck to it. So once you cure it and then just pull out, you get a beautiful stamp. After which you have to do your cavity preparation. And once the cavity preparation is done, you will restore your cavity, the whole cavity, by your incremental layer technique. And then you will leave out the occlusal 2 mm of the thing. And then after that, you will place the composite on the occlusal 2 mm of your cavity. Then place a Teflon tape on it, and then use your prepared stamp. You place it over the Teflon tape and apply a light pressure over it. The thing which you have to be careful is while using this Teflon tape, normally this Teflon tape will wrinkle. So you'll have to be very careful that there are no wrinkles on it. And then once you give an adequate pressure, you take out the print, you take out the stamp, and this is the beautiful imprint on it. And then after the curing and removing the flash, this is the final restoration. And this is the other case which was done by me in this department during my PG days. You can see the caries in 4-7, the stamp has been fabricated, cavity preparation has been done, and the final restoration is given. And you guys must be thinking this can be only done in class 1. No, we can do it in class 2 too. So we all can see dental caries in our second premolar on the mesial side. This is the preoperative of it, and they have fabricated the stamp for it, and this is the stamp. This case is not done by me. This is from a case series by Mishkrin et al. In 2017. Once you fabricate the stamp, you prepare your cavity. Then in the same way, you fill the composite, leaving the, cure the composite and leave the occlusion 2 mm. Later, you fill that and then place your Teflon tape, put a stamp over it, and then this is your final restoration. And this is an article published in BDJ. This is I found this article a couple of days back, and while going through this article, I found an interesting line in this. This is they have been using this technique. This article was published in 2008. So they have said that since 2000, so technically till 2008 in Dundee School of Dental Hospital and School, they have been using this occlusal matrix technique for all the posterior tooth. And what they have concluded is that the quality of the restoration was much better while doing with the conventional thing, and there was a lot of time saving in that. So now we are done with class 1 and class 2. So what if there is a buccal cavity or a buccal caries on the buccal side of the tooth? So there's something called as a custom shield. You can restore it by using custom shield. How you do is you take putty, you just take the impression of the buccal side, and in the same way you take the impression of, you make a stamp, and once after that you prep your cavity, you do your selective etching, and then you apply bonding agent followed by placement of composite only on the buccal wall initially, and then place your custom shield which you have prepared, and then you apply a little pressure so that the buccal wall is built up, and this is your buccal wall which has been built up. And then the whole procedure is same. You'll fill the cavity leaving 2 mm, then you cure it, then the rest of the 2 mm will be filled, a Teflon tape is placed over it, and then you apply a pressure with your stamp, and then you get your, and this is your final restoration. This is by Dr. Nidhi Pascal from Style Italiano group. And these cases, I mean, this technique can be employed where you have an adequate tooth structure after a root canal treatment. As you can all see a pre-operative radiograph where there is hidden occlusal caries which is approaching to the pulp. The same way the stamp has been taken. And once the stamp has been taken, the whole root canal procedure was done, after which the pulpal flow was all cleaned, and then it was ready for the restoration. Matrix band was applied, after which I probably assume that they must have used a Luxacore or some material similar to Luxacore, which has a high compressive strength, and then they have sculpted this occlusal layer by using the stamp which they have prepared earlier. So we have something called as transparent occlusal matrix. I think you guys remember while I was telling, we use different type, while different materials used the stamp preparation. I said there's something bite registration paste. This is a memo seal which they have used. And again, this case is not done by me. This is a case published in Operative Dentistry way back in 2009. We can see the occlusal caries in 3/6. The isolation was done, and the bite registration paste was placed on the tooth, and then the patient was asked to bite, and then you get your occlusal matrix. Once you get your occlusal matrix, you do your cavity prep, then you do your selective etching, and then after which you do restore the 2 mm of restore the whole tooth, leaving along the 2 mm of the occlusal part. Then you fill the cavity with that. You place your occlusal matrix, which was fabricated, and then apply a little finger pressure over it. And by keeping the transparent occlusal matrix, you can just light cure it through it. So since it is transparent, the light just transmits through it. And this is the final beautiful restoration which was done by them. And since we just spoke about the transparent occlusal matrix, we have to be very careful when we are using an occlusal matrix, because even the thickness of the matrix will cause a little change in your hardness of the final restoration. This is an article published in Journal of Aesthetic and Restorative Dentistry in 2015, where they have concluded, where they have done is like, they have made the matrices with 0.5 mm, 1 mm, 2 mm, and 3 mm. They have concluded that the thinnest matrices provided the highest or the best Vickers micro hardness value. So when you use a transparent occlusal matrix, please be very careful and make it as thin as possible so that for your restoration to be proper. And let's move on to commercially available devices, that is your occlusal duplicating device. This is made up of a polycarbonate material. So once you heat it, it gets softened. The same way you keep it on the tooth and ask the patient to bite. Once he bites, you get the occlusion negative replica of the occlusion. After that, in the same way, you prep the cavity, etch, bond, fill the cavity, and then place the occlusal duplicating device over it. Apply a little bit of pressure and then cure it through it. Since this is also transparent, you can keep it and then directly cure it. And this is the final restoration. This was published in by Castro et al. In 1997. And there's one more occlusal matrix, which is the universal occlusal matrix. This is This was invented by dentists, I think a group of dentists from Canada, and this cost just $1 per matrix. So as you can all see, we can see like 2 rods on one side and 3 rods on the other side, and they have numbers on it. When you add all these numbers, you will get to know the final added number which you get will give you an idea will give you an idea to use that matrix to which tooth. The final number of that, if you have three, after adding all that, it would be your it would be your first molar, right first molar, and this addition of the numbers will give you an corresponding tooth number corresponding tooth's ADA number. The main drawback of this is they have only fabricated for first molar and premolars. I have no idea why they have not fabricated for the second molars and the second premolars. And the other thing, we all know that we don't have, each person will have a different dimension of molar and premolar. I don't understand how a single matrix will be enough for all the molars. So that's technically a drawback. It's the same technique again. You prep your cavity, you fill it, and then you place this universal occlusal matrix over it, apply a pressure, then you withdraw the matrix. As you can see the flash, you remove the flash or the excessive material, then you place back the matrix again, and then light cure it, and then once you remove it, your final restoration is there or done. So we have a few merits of this stamp technique or your occlusal matrix. So this technically takes a couple of seconds to fabricate your stamp, but it saves a lot of time for sculpting your cusp and fossa and all. So technically it's a faster procedure when compared to a conventional technique. And then it replicates the original occlusal anatomy, which is the most important thing, which is most important objective of the restoration. And you don't have to buy any special instruments like your Optra Sculpt or whatever, and you don't have to spend some extra money for that. And the degree of the the degree of voids in the final restoration would be reduced because you are applying a pressure with either your stamp or your occlusal matrix. So technically there would be less number of voids when compared by a restoration done by a conventional technique. And the other advantage is that when you use a transparent stamp or your transparent occlusal matrix, the whole when you use an occlusal matrix, transparent matrix, the whole restoration is covered and it is not exposed to the oxygen. So the amount of polymerization would be complete and would be optimal. So that's the added advantage of using a transparent thing. And yeah, there are a few disadvantages with stamp technique. You can't be using that stamp technique when there is a caries with cavitation or when there is a huge destruction of the tooth. So is there something to do with teeth with, is there some technique to restore your teeth with teeth with cavitation? Yes, we do have. So how can we achieve the exact cusp fossa relationship with the opposing tooth when the when you have the teeth with a lot of destruction? So it's a very simple technique. Again, this is a case series from by Musklin et al. Published in 2017, not done by me. What he has technically done is he has made an impression of both maxillary and mandibular, and then after getting the impressions, he has made a cast out of it. And once he got the cast, he just waxed it up the lost tooth structure and then checked the occlusal interference with the mandibular cast and then cleared all of it, and then he has made a stamp out of it. And once you get the stamp, it's again the same technique. You just have to do it. So you guys must be thinking that I have been using this. I've been only talking about posterior, whether this stamp technique can be used in anterior composites or veneers. Yes, we can do it. And so I think you guys remember the same article which I've shown in the initial slides. Technically, you have a patent. You should tell your claims. What do you claim in that? They have claimed some 4 things. The first thing is that they said it can be used for forming an occlusal matrix. The second one is transparent facial matrix, which can be used for your anterior surfaces, and then the lingual matrix for your anteriors. And then the other thing is that it can also be used as a matrix for veneers. So we can use this technique for anteriors too. And if you want to look at some more beautiful cases or some case series or get to know about some manipulation techniques, please subscribe our YouTube channel. And my seminar would be, my webinar would be incomplete if I don't thank my fellow researcher. We have been doing a couple of studies on composite restorations. Dr. Nagaratnam, senior lecturer in the same department. And I thank everyone for your patient listening.
Thank you very much, Santosh. Since you are still a PhD student here, you kept saying it's a seminar instead of webinar. That's yes, okay, understandable. Yeah, I think now Dr. Sujata can take over. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That was a wonderful presentation, Santosh. Of course, you have simplified the composite restoration for our PG students. And I think they would be more happy. They can save a lot of time, indeed. Yeah, and one thing is, I think they would be more relieved instead of sitting and carving. This stamp technique definitely will help them to complete their work faster and establish a very good a closer relationship, not the relationship with you, of course. Okay, that was a wonderful presentation, Santosh. We are expecting some questions regarding this technique from the participants, PG students. Was it all clear to you all about this technique? I think you can start using it routinely in your clinicals.
I think as Santosh said, everybody are wanting to go for lunch probably.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think, or rather, he has simplified it really very well, so they don't have any questions for this. Mm-hmm. So I think you can display his certificate. Sujata, you can do the honors.
Yes, ma'am. So we would appreciate you, Santosh, with a certificate. And 1 minute, Santosh, we just have a question from Murli sir. What is your take on bulk fill flowable? What is your take on bulk fill flowable? That was sir's question.
From a bulk fill flowable, I think you can do it in a single step. You can just fill it off and then just cure it instead of wasting some more time by incremental curing. So I think you can just fill the whole cavity once and then just cure it off.
Okay. No more questions. I think we'll wind up.
Bulk fill composite and flowable are two different things. I'm not sure about a bulk fill flowable. If Dr. Murli is there, and if you can, promote him as a panelist, we would like to hear a little more from him.
Yeah, can you promote him? And sir has asked about the clinical outcome comparable.
A lot of questions are coming in now.
Yeah, now, ma'am. The questions are just now coming in.
Santosh, there's a question from Dr. Sanjay Miglani. How do you make a stamp in a pre-existing caries case? I think you already explained that, but you can probably tell that again.
In a pre-existing case, what we can do is we can take the impression of the upper and lower casks, and then we can do a waxept of it and then check for the occlusal interference. And then after that, you can take a stamp of it, and the whole technique is same. Once you get the stamp, the technique is same, man. We just have to do a waxept for it after taking the cast.
So any extensive lesions can be dealt that way, probably.
Yes, ma'am.
And another question, clinical outcome is comparable clinical outcome. I think you can mention about the study that you people are doing.
Ma'am, we'll get back to that in probably 6 or 8 months with a proper answer for that, sir. We're working on it now.
For endo-treated tooth, will only restoring with composite with aid of stamp suffice?
Yes, ma'am. If we have an adequate tooth structure, we can use our materials which is high compressive strength, like our Luxa core and all. We can fill the whole cavity with it, and then we already have a prepared stamp before we start with the root canal. So you can just fill that and then use the stamp to make an imprint of it.
To add to this, probably for endo-treated teeth, we can initially do a build-up for about short of the short of the occlusal surface of about 2 millimeters, with whatever, depending upon the extent of the tooth structure loss, we can probably build it up with short fiber reinforced composite, or any other core build-up material that is available, and then do the last final 2 millimeters of occlusal build-up using the stamp technique. The main advantage of using a stamp technique, as I said, was that you don't need to do much of occlusal adjustments. It's only a few points here and there that you need to do the occlusal reduction. That is the main problem when you do an extensive restoration of an extensive caries lesion. Sometimes your morphology doesn't come out well. The inclinations of the cuspal inclinations don't come out well. So when you do with the stamp technique, you already have a pre-existing, preformed, matrix. Or you just place that so that your occlusal interferences will come down. So your the occlusal pattern is maintained. So this can be used for any tooth, endodontically treated tooth, large caries lesions, everywhere it can be used.
Fine, ma'am. Shall we wind up? I think the questions are, now let us honor him with a certificate of appreciation. To you, Santosh, for simplifying the composite restoration.
Thank you, Santosh, and thanks to all the participants who have, encouraged and participated and encouraged our alumni students. And on behalf of all of them, I would like to thank each and every one of you. And please fill up the those who would require your certificates can please fill up the feedback form that is attached along with this. We have put that feedback form in the chat box, so you can fill that to get your e-certificates. Thank you.